today I want to show you a new instrument called Onlooker. Now, Onlooker is a granular sampler with some cool extra effects, a nice built-in EQ and reverb, and it's really good for textural and ambient stuff, as well as playing with the dry wet. It's really nice for remixing material on the fly. So let me go ahead and just drop a few samples in here real quick. In this case, I have a nice piano sample, so we can just hear that back. Great. So I'm going to take that sample, and we're going to drop it right onto Onlooker, and we see that the waveform renders right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this back with looping enabled, which is active there, and we'll make sure that this track is soloed. So by default, we can turn looping on, and that'll just repeat whatever bit of audio we put in and allows it to loop around. But you didn't want to just see an audio looper here. You wanted to see the granular device. So let's go ahead and bring up the dry wet, and we can start to hear this effect in place. Now the nice thing here is I can make a selection with these three selection tools on the left, and we can pick any type of sound we want from the sample. So if I zoom in, we could even get continuous sounds that actually have a pitch to them as well. But let's grab something a little bigger. Right now our reverb is on. So we'll leave it on for just a second. And as you can see here, I can change the grain sync settings as well. And these are all synced to Live's tempo. I can also pick manual grain sizes too. I can set a min and a max. But let's go ahead and play with the grain size here. And yeah, we can change the nature of the reverb. And yeah, we can also transpose the signal too. So we have a nice repitcher here. So I can select something like an octave, and we'll hear it go up an octave. We have different settings for this as well. One thing I like to do, I like to repitch with the repitching algorithms here. But then I like to actually transpose down with the grain morph, which is going to repitch your sound due to the speed of playback, but it leads to some really cool artifacts. So in this case, I'm up an octave. But let me cut the sound by half, and then we'll get these really nice effects. Of course, we can EQ our sounds as well. We also have a glide parameter for our transposition knob here. So if I set something a little higher, like 5 seconds, we can hear it transpose over that amount of time. Of course, we can bring the volume up. This FX volume will affect the wet volume. Cool. Okay. So let's go ahead and bring in another sound. In this case, we could do something like a vocal effect. Let's just bring this in. And yeah, we'll start playing this back. And with this grain morph, not only can we do repitching, but we also have some interesting pitch effects that aren't as linear here at the end. Right. So yeah, a lot of powerful stuff built in. So let's go ahead and bring in a full sample, and not a full sample, but a full song. So I like doing full songs in here because you can remix your own material somewhat on the fly. By playing with the dry wet, we're actually building a pad or some type of texture that's based off our source material. So it's a really great way to get some really nice artifacts and some changes to your sound. So let's just play this back from the top and have her dry wet down a little more. Because everything's beat synced with the grain sync here, things will come in on time, but their envelopes will be different, the shape of the grain, and it can lead to some really nice effects. Right, so we can get quite drastic. You could go from very minor and slightly affected to very intangible things. So it's also a really nice generative effect. So I'm just going to bring this sample back in one last time, and let's go ahead and hear this, and we'll make sure we're just hearing the affected signal. And it's, yeah, you're just going to get different shapes to your sound. So I'm going to add a little drum beat to this, and we can just hear how it kind of evolves over time. So there you have it. If you have any questions, reach out. This should be live by the time I post it. This is available on Gumroad, and yeah, it'll be up on my website as well. So reach out if you have any questions. Thanks.